Hello, everybody. Yes, it's Thursday, and it's time to do another podcast with another rock star agent. This time, I am really excited to bring you Lyndsay Smith from Savannah, Georgia. Hello, Lyndsay.
Hey there, how are you?
We're very excited because Savannah, Georgia is so pretty, and I cannot wait for you to just tell us all about your town.
It is gorgeous. I'm so lucky to live here and I'm excited to share it with y'all.
So, first things first, tell us what's the temperature today?
Oh my gosh, it's actually cold today. So I think the high was in the 50s today. So we had to drip our pipes last night. We only have to do it about twice a year. So it got below 30 degrees last night. So we have very few days of winter around here. So it's been a little bit chilly.
So, do you get snow?
Never.
Wow,
So my little boy will be 7 in a couple of weeks, and it has snowed once in his lifetime, and it was when he was about a year old.
that is amazing.
Yes. So, what is the temperature there today?
Well, let me tell you. Well, it never snows here either, so we share that. But right now it's 63 degrees, and it's right now wintertime. It's about 49, 50 degrees at night, and about 66 to sometimes 80 degrees during the day.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
So, so
That's
yeah.
perfect weather.
That's weather wise. So tell us more about Savannah. How long have you been selling real estate and how long have you lived in Savannah?
So, I actually grew up in Savannah my entire life. My mother's also in real estate. She's been in real estate over 30 years. I got into real estate in 2015. Before real estate, I actually worked in the emergency room at our local level one trauma center. So it was a big transition to go from working in the ER to real estate. But I
So
always had a passion. I actually did radiography. So I had a passion for real estate, though. I had always heard it my whole life. Um, so I joke and say it was in my blood, I guess. Um,
absolutely. So that's very interesting for me. How come you, since your mom was a realtor, you didn't go straight into real estate and decided to go for another career?
No. So when I graduated high school, I'm going to show my age here. When I graduated high school, it was the height of the recession. Um, it was 2007, and that was when I graduated. And I really wanted to do real estate. I kind of have a passion for interior design type stuff too. My husband and I also flip houses, and I really wanted to do interior design and then also do real estate. And my parents said, we think you need to choose something that's a little more recession proof.
Yeah.
So that was how I ended up in the medical field. And they said, later, if you want to do real estate, that will be great. But we think you need a backup plan. So here I am.
That is so cool. So, did you choose that as the backup plan of choice, or did parents choose that as the backup plan of choice?
It's so funny because when I was in college, I had taken so many core classes. I had taken so many core classes that I was at the point that the admissions office called me and they were like, you have to choose a major. So they're like, there's no more core classes to take. You have to choose something. So they had this class, and you could take this class to help you choose a major. And I took it, and you did all these little tests and all these things to kind of based off your personality what you should do. And it said I should do radiography, and I was like, I guess that's what I'll do. Make my major then. And I loved it, and I truly was passionate about it, and I do miss it sometimes because especially in a trauma center, it's a fast-paced environment. These people really are in need, um, and I loved it. But I really once my husband and I got married, especially, we would pass each other literally in the road. I was on night shift, and he worked day shift job. And we would literally pass each other. We were trying to start a family. And I told him, I said, I'm ready for something different. And he said, you've always wanted to do real estate, just go for it. So we did. And then the Lord just kind of kept opening doors for us. And we started flipping houses, unintentionally flipping houses, I should say that. We would buy a house and we would move into it and kind of do a few updates. And then we'd be like, you know what, let's sell it. And then that was our first one. And our second one, we finished the updates and we had planned to stay there like 10 years. But as soon as we finished the update, someone knocked on the door and asked to buy it.
Wow.
And it just kept happening and kept happening. And that led to us moving. Our little boy had moved like 6 times by the time he was 3.
Wow.
And so then we went on vacation once, and our little boy thought that we were moving. I like to find like crazy places to stay when we go on vacation. So I found a really cool tree house. And when we got there, our little boy thought we were moving into this tree house. And I looked at my husband and I was like, I think this is a sign that we shouldn't,
Again.
Yeah, like maybe choose a house and stay in it for a while. And so we bought that house in 2019, which is where we live now.
You mean the tree house? You bought the tree house?
No. No. So we bought a house. It's not a tree house. We bought a house. And that is where we live. The house we bought is where we live. And we don't have any intentions or plans to move anytime soon.
But you are still flipping houses.
We do. We still flip houses. And my husband just goes with my crazy dreams. He just supports it. So
how has real estate been in 2023?
In our market, it was very challenging. It was a very different market. Interest rates were rising. We could tell that, our homeowners were a little timid and scared to sell because they weren't really sure where they were going to go. Inventory was really low. And we have a really unique market. I feel like just from talking to other agents around the country, Savannah's market is a little bit unique because Savannah is the fastest growing industrial market in the nation.
Translate that for us.
I will. So Savannah, we're a port city. So all these big cargo ships and stuff that you hear of coming in and bringing in goods, we are the second largest port on the East Coast, bringing in goods. So that's a picture of our Savannah River. So just up the river from that is our port. We have huge cranes that unload these ships. And
right here.
Okay, it would be a little bit more north, a little bit. I'm trying to think. See where it actually says Savannah on the map?
Yeah, right here.
Then right above that, you see where it says Hutchinson. If you zoom in a little bit. Okay, yeah. So if you keep zooming in, do you see where between? Can you zoom in a little more? All right, see where the Talmadge Bridge is?
Talmadge Bridge.
Okay, right there it actually says Georgia Ports Authority. Right. Right. Oh, nope, sorry. Okay, right. Do you see the bridge?
Right here, right
yeah. Here. All right, and then if you go right up the river a little bit, see where it says Georgia Ports Authority. Up the river, like on the river, right? Go, yes, right there. Yes.
Okay.
So I wonder if you click on it, will it show a picture?
Oh, yes. There it is.
Yeah, and it's even more massive. Like that picture's probably old. So we have got all these new cranes and all of these things because all of these goods are being brought into our port. So there's actually a Hyundai mega site being built right up I-16 right outside of Savannah. That Hyundai mega site between Hyundai and its partner companies, it's bringing over 20,000 jobs to our area. over, I think, the next 4 or 5 years.
I thought that Savannah was more of like a historic
So
romantic little
it
town, you know?
it very much is. So this is like right by the historic district. So, all right,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
see, yes, right there. So that's our historic district. So it's so funny because this is like, it's really cool. If you go downtown, you can sit at some of these rooftop bars or restaurants on River Street, and you can watch these huge cargo ships come in.
Wow.
It's really fun. I have a 7-year-old, and there's one place called Electric Moon, um, at Plant Riverside District, and they have a slide at this place. And during the day, kids are allowed there until like 3 or 4 p.m. And so we'll go on a Saturday at like lunchtime, and my husband and I'll grab a bite to eat or have a drink or whatever. And our little boy will do the slide the whole time. He's just playing, running, playing. And they have adult sized games and stuff outside. It's really fun. There's so many fun things to do downtown Savannah. So you should
This
come visit.
is cool. Look at this with this huge
Mhm.
ship passing through right in front of your eyes, huh?
It's really cool. So, we actually have several friends, they call them bar pilots, that direct the ships in.
Wow, that's super, super cool.
So, yeah, it's really interesting to watch. It's incredible to watch the ships come in and dock and stuff. But so that is our historic district. But our growth is because of this industrial growth and us being the second largest port on the East Coast. And let me add, we're the second largest port on the East Coast, but the port larger than us is actually a combined port. It's New York and New Jersey's port, and they're considered one port, but it's a combined port.
Wow.
So that just kind of gives you an idea of how many ships, I mean, it's massive how many ships are coming in and out. So, with all of this growth, we have a lot of industrial warehouses being built, not obviously in the historic district, but right outside of the historic district. So, this is all bringing so many people to our area. So, we actually, I've said that our clients over the past 2 years have changed. Used to, a lot of my clients were repeat and referral people. Since I've lived here my entire life, my mom has been here for so long. Um, a lot of our clients were just people we knew, or so and so said to call you, like just, it
Yeah.
was all word of mouth. And now it's totally changed. People moving from Atlanta for a job, Atlanta, Georgia for a job here, people moving from New York, people moving from California, people moving from Texas, or even Colorado. Like people are just coming from all over because there's such great job opportunities in our area.
Got it. Got it.
Mhm.
So actually, we are on your website now,
Mhm. Mhm.
the seriousaboutselling.com. And I am wondering if you can tell us, I'm really interested to know about these areas, top areas. Are these top areas that you service, or are these top areas of the town that within Savannah?
So we do service those areas. So when you think of Savannah, you do think of the historic areas. And the thing about the historic areas is you can easily spend $1 million like that. I mean, just super quick. And, that's just not realistic for most people, especially in our area. That's just not a reality. So some of those areas, if you get right outside of that true historic Savannah, Rankin, Guyton, Richmond Hill, the prices are just much more reasonable.
Can I work around this?
You might have to type in a quick email. It shouldn't have popped up. It should usually only pops up after like the third or fourth time of going on the page. But I promise we don't spam you though. I promise. So, um, So once you get out to some of these little pocket areas that are, you know, even just 10 minutes outside of 10, 15 minutes outside of the historic district, the prices are just far more reasonable or, more realistic for most people. So I tell people if you're willing to go 15, 20 minutes outside of the historic district, we can get you a great starter house for 300,000.
Look,
So,
this one is 189.
so I think that's just land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I think that is the townhouse for 220. So,
This one, it's
mhm,
gorgeous.
right. So yeah, so there are some really great options.
Yeah. So this is a townhouse.
Mhm.
Wow, this is very cute.
So, um, and if you go to like Richmond Hill, Guyton, Rincon, those areas, you even can get you can get a house for a starter house for 300,000 and maybe even have like a quarter acre, a half acre lot.
Wow.
Mhm. So it's
That,
just
that So what would you say is the median price of a home in your area?
so I would say before we hopped on this call, I actually was having a conversation with my mom, and I was like, "Mom, I'm doing a podcast, and I know that she's going to ask me this question." And I said that this is a tough one for Savannah because there's so many pocket areas. And like before the podcast, you and I were talking, and you had the map pulled up, and we were talking about how you can literally be on the beach. You can be downtown, but then like 15 minutes later, you can drive and be at the beach.
Yeah,
Um, or you can even buy on the river in Savannah, and you're going to go well over $1 million there. So I would say the median price point home is going to be about 400,000 right now.
yeah,
Um, and that's like I'm kind of saying median because I'm removing out those houses that, you know, I'm saying the median price point of what we're selling our bread and butter of.
right.
So it's going to be about 400,000. And um so it's really still a real reasonable price point, and I think that's why we are having so many people from California, New York, New Jersey, all these different places come to our area because it's still so reasonable to buy here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's well, we have the official. We're labeled officially the most unaffordable city in the country.
Come visit us.
So out of the areas that you service, I think, well, let me see. I'm trying to guess here. I thought that you have a lot of historic homes, but I'm actually seeing a lot of newer homes.
So, our historic district, when somebody goes into the historic district, especially if they have a STVR, a short-term vacation rental, they are holding on to that and it's coveted.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's very coveted. And so if you click on Savannah, some of the more historic stuff might, but our inventory here is so incredibly low too. So that's what I've been telling our buyers. I say, don't wait till you only have a month and a half. So that East Perry Street at the top, those are smaller 2-bedroom properties, and
Super.
those are those are right near the historic district.
What about this one? $139,000.
That is not historic district. That would be incredible if it was. So
Well,
Gordon, that 1.2 right there on the right side of the screen, that is like prime historic district right there.
so you do have to spend some money if you want to be
Hmm.
in the historic district.
Yes,
I see. But this is gorgeous. Look at that
I know.
brickwork.
And those, I'm sure. I say I'm sure, you know, you got to give your disclaimer. Those are most likely the old Savannah gray bricks, which have so much history. They're absolutely incredible. If you can get your hands on them, they're typically, if you can get your hands on some restored ones, they're about $5 or $6 a brick. And the story behind them is that they were actually made by slaves on the Savannah River out of the mud.
Wow.
So they go for about $5 or $6 a brick if you can get your hands on some of those.
Wow. That is amazing. It's of course it's sad because it doesn't have a happy history to it, but it's incredible because it's still history
It
attached.
is still history, and it's so it is really sad. But it is a piece of history, and it's a piece of the story of Savannah. And I actually have one. I actually have one, and there's actually a blog post on our blog right up there about the Savannah Gray Bricks because it is such an interesting piece of history for Savannah. And there's a picture of one on that blog post. I think there's a picture of it, and it actually has one of the fingerprints in it. And I'm like, the story, if that brick could talk, like just imagine the stories it could tell.
2 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,240 square feet for $1,200,000. That is expensive.
I know, but it's historic district. The stories that if those bricks could talk.
That is true. That is true. That is definitely true. Well, okay. So thank you so much for telling us so much about where you live, and I've learned so much. I had no idea that where Savannah has so much in jobs and so much in industrial revolution, I should say, right? So thank you for telling us. Anything else that you can tell us to in closing for our viewers and our listeners?
Come visit us. It's great. March 17th is a fabulous day to come, St. Patrick's Day. We have one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day parades in the country. So that's a great time to book a trip to visit Savannah. They dye the fountains green. So we'd love to have you. We're the hostess city of the South. So everybody feels welcome when they come here.
That is amazing, and I love it. Thank you so much. So, audience, there you have it, Lyndsay Smith from Savannah, Georgia. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are thinking of buying or selling in Savannah, Lyndsay and her team are there to help you, and you can reach Lyndsay by calling or texting her. There's her phone number. And if you want to send her an email, there is Lyndsay's email address, and you were on her amazing website with lots of information. And I'm so glad that I signed in so that I can get all of those fabulous homes in Savannah come my way. And you never know, maybe we'll think about coming and moving and getting a beachfront property over there.
Yeah, come visit.
And if you are on Instagram, you can make friends with Lyndsay. There is her Instagram handle. And if you are thinking of buying or selling in San Diego, I am your service provider, and we're very happy to help you. And let's see, there is my phone number if you want to give me a call. And there's my website, my email address, and I also love to be on Instagram. There's my Instagram handle, and I'm also on Facebook under Roxanne Guvari. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. And if we always appreciate your comments and your questions, and happy to answer them. And have a happy evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, thanks.